Taxes in school. It don't even matter, I was acting a fool.
This first line by Grammy Award-winning artist Chance the Rapper brings light to a question that not many people seem to think about. Should they teach taxes in school? Just like everyone else in the workforce, I just completed and sent in my tax forms for the 2016 year. Thankfully, my father is a bookkeeper and was able to do mine free of charge. However, according to the US Census Bureau, in 2016, there were approximately 28.8 million businesses and 144 million people in the workforce, and each worker in business were required to fill their taxes. Most of these individuals are not as lucky as I am, and they don't have someone to help them understand their taxes. Now, some people may wonder, why do they need to understand their taxes at all? Why do they need to know anything? They can just hire an accountant and never worry about it. However, to be good at money management means to know what happens to every single dollar that you make. And since the government takes around 10 to 40% of your income every year, it's important to know how much money they take and how much money you have left to spend. Well, okay, it's important to understand your taxes for money management, but why is money management so important? Well, it's a major aspect in your life that can cause a lot of problems if you are not dealing with it properly. For example, if you're frequently spending more money than you make, you'll end up living life in debt. So it's important to be good at money management in order to keep yourself in a debt-free life, or at least have a level of debt that's sustainable. Alright, money management is important, but why should high schools teach you taxes? Why not just take a course at H&R Block and learn there? Well, I believe that high schools are meant to prepare their students for all major aspects of their life. It should teach students the basics to the subjects that they will continue to encounter. For example, engineers should be introduced to physics, videographers should be introduced to film theory, and anyone who's going to be making money should be introduced to money management. If I were to write out my argument in a structured format, it would look a little bit like this. Premise 1. High schools should teach students about all major aspects in life. Premise 2. Money management is a major aspect in life. Premise 3. Understanding the basics of income tax is necessary for money management. Conclusion. Therefore, high schools should teach the basics of income tax. Now, although this argument is valid, as in if every premise is true, we can determine that the conclusion is also true, it is possible that people may disagree with the first premise and determine that the conclusion is false. For example, one could argue that high schools are not meant to teach students about all major aspects in life, but rather, they are supposed to give them a basis on only language, math, and hard sciences, and that any other subjects that a student wishes to learn should be an elective or taught at a time outside of school hours. This counter-argument, while also valid, is only true if the reader agrees with the way the school system should impact the student. Since the first premise of both the argument and the counter-argument hinges on personal preference, it's impossible to determine the correct answer to the question at hand. So what do you believe? Do you agree with me that high schools should give a broad overview of all aspects of life? Or should high schools give you an in-depth analysis of language, math, and hard sciences? Or do you disagree with both? At the end of the day, while you're in school, make sure you're not acting a fool and try to learn something.
They ain't teaching taxes in school. It don't even matter, I was acting a fool. But who would think the raps would turn into racks? Don't matter, matter of fact, it could happen to you. Scars on my head, I'm the boy who lived.